While there's a multitude of advice on how to become a successful individual, most of those tips do not apply to your average day, everyday person. My advice applies to real everyday scenario, things that you could actually follow and things that you could actually do in order to build those stepping stones, those building blocks to be on a higher path in life and be above the rest of your peers. So these are my top 5 most successful tips in order to become a successful individual. Tip number 1, being comfortable while doing the uncomfortable. A lot of people love complacency. They love accepting an entry-level job for an entry-level salary, barely making pay raises every single year, maybe a 2 to 3% pay raise, and they accept that because it's in the place they want to live. They're not trying to save their money. They're just living paycheck to paycheck and getting by in life, and they accept that. The worst thing you could do is be complacent. You want to move jobs every 1 to 2 years in order to get that higher salary range. What do I mean by that? You need to be working on yourself. The whole entire time that you're working this job, you need to be working overtime outside of your job. When you get home, that is your job. You need to be working on certifications, getting a college degree, getting anything that you can, building a skill set, working on whatever you're passionate about. If you have a dream, work on that. You want to make sure that your day-to-day job is covering your daily expenses, your monthly expenses, but it's not covering the dream life that you could have in the dream life that you're going to build by following these tips. Tip number 2, letting the interviewer determine your worth and your salary. What do I mean by that? A lot of people will accept the first offer. The first offer is $80,000. Really, you could get anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 more than what they're offering. You just have to know how to leverage your experience and negotiate. Do not ever accept the first offer, whether it be salary or wage. Never accept that offer. And make sure in your interview, you're well prepared and ready to present yourself and be the best version of yourself. Don't be afraid to exaggerate what you've done, because when you get that job, they're going to teach it to you anyways. They're not expecting you to be a subject matter expert. They're just expecting you to be able to show up in the right uniform at the right place at the right time. Present your knowledge when you get there. Tip number 3, invest, but also protect. Invest and protect. What I mean by that is invest in yourself. Any skill that you can expand on, invest in that. Every investment towards yourself is going to generate large amounts of wealth in the future. Make sure that you're using AI tools, make sure that you're using Google, make sure that you're using anything at your disposal in order to better yourself. Work on communication skills, work on teamwork skills, team building skills, management skills, leadership skills. All of these skills that you gather are all resume boosters in order to get you in the best position possible. In order to get you to become that man or that woman that you want to become, you're going to have to work very hard on yourself. Make sure that you're putting the time in the right places. Because you can be the hardest worker possible, but if you're putting all of that hard work into the wrong thing and giving it all of your time, then that hard work does not pay off. Hard work does not pay off. In fact, a lot of times the easy work pays off more than the hard work. The hard work is on yourself. The easy work is the job or the opportunity that you give or create by utilizing yourself. Hard part is how much information can yourself contain and spew out. Communication and networking is everything. If you have neither of those 2 skills, you won't be successful in life. I'm sorry to break it to you. Luckily, we all speak a language. I was gonna say English, but we all speak English. Tip number 4, this is called fallback option. You wanna have that fallback option. Whatever your company allows you to put towards your retirement, whatever that company matches, you wanna match that. If your company offers 3%, you wanna give 3% of your paycheck to that company. So if 3% of your paycheck is $300, the company gives you $300. That's $600 times 12, which is $7,200 a year. That is phenomenal. That is 100% guaranteed back on your own investment, your own return. But that money, usually you cannot take out until you're about 59 and a half to 65 years old, right? Yeah, you get tax breaks and everything, but you use that as a bridge. And that's why I call this the fallback option. Because if all those certifications, all those skill sets you build, all of these skills in general don't generate you enough wealth to where you don't even have to care about your money anymore, have to care about your finances anymore, then this is the fallback option. Because listen, if you're a kid, 18, 20, you're in your early 20s, even if you're in your 30s, S&P 500, Vanguard S&P 500, get a Robinhood account, start investing thousands, as much as you can out of your paycheck. You want to invest in the S&P 500 that has an average of 7 to 10% annual return. If you do that, and you can mark my words, over 20 years, sometimes less, sometimes longer, depending on how much you can invest, you're a guaranteed millionaire. And then you use that investment account from your company or from companies that you keep switching over and gaining higher salary. You use that to bridge the gap. So now after 20 years, if you're 20, you can retire at 40. And then You use that money that you are investing in that S&P 500 Vanguard to bridge the gap to 60, where you can take out your retirement without penalty. You get what I'm saying? Guaranteed path to success, guaranteed path to millionaire, guaranteed path to future family generational wealth, and guaranteed path to happiness and getting that Lamborghini in your driveway with that mansion and that bad bitch by your side. Tip number 5, and guys, this one is deep, because tip number 5 isn't about financial, it isn't about investments, it isn't about anything besides the way that you view the world. Once you understand nothing in life actually matters, everything that your boss, your employer, your coworkers, everything, even your family members, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends, everything that they say, every judgmental comment that they have, their perception of you is all nonsense. At the end of the day, we're all going to die. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter. When your boss hands you that paperwork and he's like, you need this done by the end of the day, remember to take it easy. Don't stress yourself out. Stress kills. You want to live as long as possible. Do not let those cortisol levels raise, because if you stress you out, you never get a raise. You get what I'm saying? But if you learn how to be stoic, control your emotions, control your environment, and learn how to adapt, then you can be the most successful, best version of yourself. When somebody cuts you off on the road, don't have road rage, don't panic. Take a deep breath. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're a woman and just can't drive. Who knows? That's probably the issue. Or they're Asian. My wife has that issue. All I'm saying is nothing in life is ever that deep. It's never that serious. All these issues you deal with, all these problems. A lot of times, you know what I've learned in life? When something is so bad, when something goes wrong, it's really just like a gust of wind, blowing you towards the path that you're really meant to be on, making you grow through that struggle, through that sacrifice, making you jump through those obstacles in order to become the best version of yourself. If it wasn't for sacrifice, if it wasn't for struggles, if it wasn't for obstacles, you would never become the person that you're meant to become. Even when the worst thing happens to you, girlfriend left you, your wife left you, your husband, boyfriend left you, something so tragic could be their tragedy and your greatest recovery, because the recovery is what matters. It's just like what they always say, it's not about the fumble, it's about the recovery. Because in life, there's gonna be many fumbles, but it's all about how you pick yourself back up on your feet and stand up and stand 10 toes down on what you actually believe in. Don't let anybody judge you, don't let anybody rule you, don't let anybody ever, and I mean ever, walk all over you, because this world is full of liars, full of corruptness, and it's full of people who will always try to tell you how to live your life or what to do with your life, and that you're doing everything wrong with your life. And get that in big context. Your, not theirs, your. The point I'm making is, if the big word is yours, then the life that you choose and the life that you make all relies on yours. This has been my top 5 most successful tips to become a successful individual in life. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I'll definitely make more. You guys are the best. I wish nothing but the best for you. And as always, DevCast out.